I solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And if I am found to be lying, I accept prosecution under the full extent of the sports law. What's up, guys? Welcome to Sports in Order. I'm the attorney at Sports. This is my courtroom. Damn, we're already at episode 4. That's crazy. We're really making some good progress. But it's funny because we haven't made any progress yet. So we've made progress in terms of getting through 4 episodes. This is episode 4. But in reality, we ain't made no progress yet because these first 4 episodes, they ain't nothing. You guys ain't seen nothing yet. Compared to what's in store, compared to the future episodes that are going to be coming out, this is just the beginning. Sports in Order, oh man. Once fantasy football season actually gets here and an NFL season actually gets here, Sports in Order is going to explode. Sports in Order is going to blow up. I'm telling you, Sports in Order, it's going to be the show for you. But if you guys have liked Sports in Order so far and liked all the episodes I put out, do me a favor and go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel, the World of Sports Network YouTube channel. That'll really help me out. That'll help the network out. Just help me out. If you love the attorney, help the attorney out because the attorney loves his viewers. The attorney loves his fans. I would do the same for you guys. So do me a favor, go ahead and subscribe. World of Sports Network YouTube channel. Appreciate that. On today's episode, I'm going to give you guys my top 10 fantasy football quarterbacks. I'm going to give you my top 5 fantasy football friendly head coaches in the NFL. I'm going to bring Scott Perry and Steve Mills, the 2 guys in charge of the New York Knicks. I'm going to bring them into the interrogation room. Then as usual, as always, we end with what's the case on the base, fantasy baseball players to add and to drop. With that being said, let's get right into it. No time to waste, baby. No time to waste. Here we go. My top 10 quarterbacks in fantasy football. Who you guys think number 1 is? Nah, it ain't Tom Brady. Come on now, it's Aaron Rodgers. When you think of arm talent, man, Aaron Rodgers has it. This guy, now, yes, Tom Brady's got the rings. Tom Brady is, a lot of people think he's the greatest quarterback of all time. But when it comes to pure talent at the quarterback position, I think Aaron Rodgers is number 1. And in fantasy football, Super Bowl championships don't matter. Talent matters. And Aaron Rodgers, out of all the quarterbacks in the NFL, has the most talent. That's why he's number 1 for me. Plus, he added Jimmy Graham. He did lose Jordy Nelson. That could hurt him a little bit, but they added Jimmy Graham. That's going to help Aaron Rodgers tremendously in the red zone. Plus, he's going to be motivated. He's healthy. He missed most of if not all of last, we'll say all of last season. He missed all of last season. He's healthy and motivated, and he wants revenge. He wants revenge on the NFC North. He wants revenge on the NFC. He wants revenge on the NFL. Plus, he's looking to get that next contract, that contract to make him the highest paid player in the NFL after seeing all these lesser quarterbacks get big-time money. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is going to have a crazy year. I'm looking at Aaron Rodgers to have, maybe 45 touchdowns. Yeah, 45 touchdowns. Second, Tom Brady? Nope, it's not Tom Brady. You guys are probably wondering, where's Tom Brady if he's not in the top 2? We'll get to him. Number 2, surprisingly, well, not really surprisingly. For you guys, you're probably surprised. I'm going with Phillip Rivers. I'm telling you, man, I really think Phillip Rivers is going to put it all together this year. Now, Phillip Rivers had a hell of a career, but it's been a little bit inconsistent. Not really inconsistent in fantasy. He's always put up the numbers, but he's thrown too many interceptions. And in the fantasy football playoffs the past 2 or 3 years, he's kind of let down his owners with the interceptions. This year, I think this is the year Phillip Rivers finishes as a top 2 quarterback. He has talk about weapons. Weapons out the wazoo for Phillip Rivers. Melvin Gordon, a great running game. Last year's first-round pick, Mike Williams, he's healthy. Keenan Allen's healthy. Hunter Henry, who's going to help Phillip Rivers in the red zone. He's the number 1 tight end now. Number 1 tight end now for Phillip Rivers. Plus, the Los Angeles Chargers upgraded their offensive line. They got Marquise Pouncey to play center. Forrest Lamp and Dan Feeney, the 2 guards. And I think Joseph Barksdale is the right tackle, I believe. He's a quality right tackle. Just overall, Phillip Rivers' offensive line and weapons at the skill positions, second to none. As long as Phillip Rivers can stay healthy, he's got the protection, he's got the weapons. Yes, sir. He could have a top 2 fantasy football season. Number 3, here you go. Here's your guy. Here's everybody's guy, Tom Brady. Tom Brady is number 3 for me. Now, Tom Brady did lose Danny Amendola, but he's getting Julian Edelman back. He's getting Gronk back. And they drafted Sony Michel, the running back out of Georgia, which I think is going to help Tom Brady tremendously in fantasy. Sony Michel in his own right is going to have a hell of a fantasy football season in terms of PPR and catching the ball and getting a lot of receptions and catches. But who's got to throw the ball to Sony Michel? Exactly, Tom Brady. So yes, like I said, Tom Brady did lose Danny Amendola, but he's getting Julian Edelman back, getting Gronk back, and drafted Sony Michel. Yeah, Tom Brady's got some decent weapons. And they upgraded the offense line as well. Drafted Isaiah Wynn, the guard from Georgia. I feel like they got a left tackle as well. I know they lost Nate Solder, but just don't count out Tom Brady. He could even finish as the number 1 ranked quarterback again, for all we know. Tom Brady is that good. But for now, I'm going to have Tom Brady at number 3. Fourth, Ben Roethlisberger. Now, he did lose his offensive coordinator, Todd Haley. Him and Todd Haley didn't get along on a personal level. But Todd Haley, gave Ben the tools and called the plays for Ben that would lead to success. I don't know if Big Ben's going to put up the same numbers that he put up with Todd Haley, but the formula is there for him to do it again because he still has Antonio Brown, still has Le'Veon Bell, Juju Smith-Schuster in his second year. He's going to take a step forward, and they drafted the speedster out of Washington State, James Washington. So Big Ben has all the weapons. He's got all the weapons to be successful in fantasy football. But also, why I like Big Ben this year is because he's going to be motivated. The Steelers drafted Mason Rudolph in the 3rd round. Big Ben wasn't fond of that. Big Ben said, why are you guys drafting a quarterback in the 3rd round when you still have me as the quarterback? Big Ben's going to prove that he's got a lot of football left. He's going to make the Steelers regret drafting Mason Rudolph. Yeah, a healthy and a motivated Big Ben. Watch out. 5th, Drew Brees. Now, last year, Drew Brees, he went away from the prolific passing Drew Brees, and the Saints became a run-first offense. Drew Brees still had a great year. Completion percentage was sky high. Drew Brees, from a physical standpoint, looks great. Still looks the same. And now Mark Ingram suspended for 4 games. A lot of people are saying, oh, that's going to hurt Drew Brees. You know what? I don't think it's going to hurt Drew Brees. Here's why. Alvin Kamara, he's going to take over as the lead back for the Saints and for Drew Brees. Now, Alvin Kamara, while he is a tough runner and a good runner, he makes his money catching the ball out of the backfield, screens, putting him in the slot on 3rd down and going up against a linebacker or a safety. Again, same thing with Sony Michel and Tom Brady. Who has to throw the ball to Alvin Kamara? Drew Brees. Plus, Drew Brees has Michael Thomas still. They signed the kid from Chicago, Cam Meredith. He's a good receiver as well. I like Drew Brees. I don't like Drew Brees to have a top 2 or a top 3 season in fantasy, but I think top 5. Drew Brees is still a top 5 quarterback with Alvin Kamara as his pass catching and his main running back overall. Yeah, I like Drew Brees. 6th, we got Cam Newton. Now, Cam Newton, obviously, we look at Cam Newton and we look at his rushing numbers and his rushing value because he scores on average per season about 5 rushing touchdowns. And then they added some weapons for him, though, through the air, to succeed through the air. Drafted DJ Moore, the wide receiver out of Maryland. Still have Christian McCaffrey from last season. Last year's pick, Curtis Samuel, he's healthy. There's a lot of weapons for Cam Newton. Everyone wants to, pigeonhole Cam Newton into the running quarterback box. And, all Cam Newton is good at is running and scoring rushing touchdowns. But when you give Cam Newton some weapons, some receiving weapons, he's one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. Plus, Greg Olsen will be healthy too. I like Cam Newton to have a bounce-back season. 7th, Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford, a lot of people thought once they fired Jim Caldwell, once the Lions fired Jim Caldwell, Jim Bob Cooter would follow him out the door. Jim Bob Cooter is staying on as Matthew Stafford's offensive coordinator in Detroit. The Lions improved their offensive line. They drafted the center out of Arkansas, Frank Ragnow. He's going to slide into center or guard. And last year, quietly, the Lions had one of the better offensive lines in the NFL. And it got better. They drafted the running back also out of Auburn, Kerryon Johnson. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. Golden Tate's still there, Marvin Jones, Kenny Golladay. A lot of weapons for Matthew Stafford to succeed. The defenses in the NFC North are tough. But Matthew Stafford, when it comes down to it, that Lions team is still going to be a throwing team. Not really much emphasis on the running game in Detroit. Matthew Stafford's going to throw the ball a lot. And in fantasy football, you want a quarterback that's going to throw the ball a lot. Not many quarterbacks throw the ball more than Matthew Stafford. 8th, big surprise. Big surprise right here. Russell Wilson. But in reality, it's not really a surprise. Here's why. Russell Wilson lost Jimmy Graham. That's double-digit touchdowns in the red zone. That's probably 12 touchdowns that Russell Wilson's going to lose. Who's taking over that spot? They didn't draft a tight end. They didn't sign a tight end. They didn't improve the offensive line. Seattle's biggest issue and biggest weakness is the offensive line. They didn't improve it. So you lost Jimmy Graham, didn't improve your offensive line, and They drafted a running back in the first round. And after that running back was drafted, Pete Carroll said, we're going to go back to being a run-first offense. We're going to go back to being how we used to be in the Marshawn Lynch days. During those days, Russell Wilson wasn't a fantasy-relevant quarterback because Marshawn Lynch was getting all the touches and all the carries. Marshawn Lynch was getting almost 300 carries a year. And if the running back they drafted, Rashad Penny, is going to be anything like Marshawn Lynch, he's going to get a lot of carries, get a lot of touches, and that's going to mean that Seattle ends up being a run-first offense. Why do you want a quarterback on your fantasy team that's the quarterback of a run-first offense? You don't. But I think Russell Wilson is talented enough to be fantasy relevant regardless because of his rushing ability and his playmaking ability. But not much upside for Russell Wilson, so that's why I slide him down. I have him as my 8th ranked quarterback with the possibility of moving up, though. Don't ever count out Russell Wilson. 9th, Derek Carr. Now, Derek Carr's got, talk about weapons, man. Jordy Nelson, Martavius Bryant, Amari Cooper, Doug Martin. All the weapons are there for Derek Carr to succeed. They drafted Colton Miller, the offensive tackle, with the 15th overall pick. That Colton Miller is going to slide to right tackle or left tackle. Obviously, that helps protect Derek Carr. And everybody knows who the new head coach of the Raiders is, John Gruden. John Gruden is the quarterback whisperer. Everywhere John Gruden has gone, his quarterbacks and his receivers have been fantasy relevant. The man won a Super Bowl with Brad Johnson. Derek Carr is 10 times the quarterback Brad Johnson is. As long as Derek Carr stays healthy, I don't see any reason. With the weapons he has, I don't see any reason for him to not have a top 10 fantasy football season. And last but not least, Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins. Man, if you guys see the trend, all the quarterbacks I have in the top 10 have a great supporting cast, have great weapons. No different with Kirk Cousins. Adam Thielen, Stephon Diggs, Kyle Rudolph, Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook, another running back. Great at catching the ball out of the backfield. If Kirk doesn't see what he likes, dumps it off to Dalvin Cook for 10 yards. That's only going to help Kirk Cousins and help Kirk Cousins' numbers in fantasy football. Plus, yes, the Vikings did lose Pat Shurmur, who had a hell of a season coordinating that Vikings offense last year. But they hired a younger version of Pat Shurmur with more upside. John DeFilippo. Is it John or Frank? John DeFilippo, who last year was the quarterback's coach in Philly with Carson Wentz. Now he comes to Minnesota to be the offensive coordinator for the Vikings. Only going to help Kirk Cousins. Yeah, I like Kirk Cousins to have a top 10 season in fantasy football. All right, that's it. Those are my top 10 quarterbacks for fantasy football. Now let's talk about the 5 best or 5 most fantasy football friendly head coaches in the NFL. These are coaches that you want to pick players on their team because that coach is going to call plays for these players to be successful. Number 1, Sean Payton. Sean Payton became, kind of made the running backs relevant in fantasy football. In PPR leagues. First it was Reggie Bush. Then it was Pierre Thomas. I think I'm missing a couple other ones. Mark Ingram, Alvin Kamara. Anytime you have a running back, anytime Sean Payton has a running back, he's catching the ball. He's getting catches. He's getting receptions. And in a PPR league, you want to draft any running back on the Saints roster. You know why? Because Sean Payton is going to say, Drew Brees, throw that running back the ball. Drew Brees, we're going to call a screen for this running back. Drew Brees, we're going to put that running back in the slot, throw it to him. Running backs are always getting catches in Sean Payton's offense. Plus, Drew Brees, one of those prolific passers of all time, in Sean Payton's offense, every year is a threat to throw for 5,000 yards. Man, if he's on Sean Payton's team, I'm drafting him. 2, Andy Reid. Now, Andy Reid's had success as a play caller in Philadelphia and Kansas City. Remember, in Philly, it was Donovan McNabb and Brian Westbrook. Fantasy football really wasn't that relevant as it is now, back when Brian Westbrook was dominating the league. But if fantasy football was relevant during Brian Westbrook's heyday, he'd be probably the top running back in fantasy football. Talk about a running back that can catch the ball. Not many running backs can catch the ball better than Brian Westbrook. Every game, he was getting 8 to 10 catches a game. Donovan McNabb was throwing him the screens, Donovan McNabb was putting him in the slot. Andy Reid was telling Donovan McNabb, whatever you do, make sure you get the ball to Brian Westbrook. Then Andy Reid goes to Kansas City. Alex Smith rejuvenated his career in Kansas City under Andy Reid. Last year had a career year. Andy Reid, made Travis Kelce, made Tyreek Hill, made Kareem Hunt lead the league in rushing last year as a rookie. Andy Reid loves his skill position players, and in fantasy football, skill position players are what win you games. Got to get me some players on Andy Reid's team. Third, Kyle Shanahan. Now, Kyle Shanahan, kind of the same thing with Sean Payton in terms of the running backs, but Kyle Shanahan is famous for, getting his receivers, funneling targets to his ex-receiver. In Houston, it was Andre Johnson. In Washington, it was Pierre Garcon. In Atlanta, it was Roddy White. And in San Francisco, he still has Pierre Garcon. So his ex-receiver is more of the possession receiver. Kyle Shanahan, targets after targets after targets to his ex-receiver. And in PPR leagues, you want receivers that get a lot of catches, and the ex-receiver in Kyle Shanahan's offense is going to get a lot of catches. That's why you always got to draft a receiver that Kyle Shanahan is coaching. In San Francisco right now, it's Pierre Garcon. And Pierre Garcon last year was on his way to having a really great year before he got hurt. It's just when you're a receiver in Kyle Shanahan's offense, you're going to get a lot of catches. And like I said, PPR, points per reception, give me the receiver that's going to get a lot of catches. And that receiver is the receiver in Kyle Shanahan's offense. 4, Sean McVay. Now, Sean McVay, everyone's like, oh, Sean McVay, he only had one good season. No, he was the offensive coordinator for Kirk Cousins and the Redskins for 3 seasons. And each one of those 3 seasons, Sean McVay had Kirk Cousins throw for over 4,000 yards. So, Sean McVay knows what he's doing as a play caller. Last year, the first year with Jared Goff under Jeff Fisher, everybody's like, oh, this kid's a bust, man. This kid stinks. Sean McVay takes over, Jared Goff, this kid's one of the best young quarterbacks in the NFL. Same with Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley had a terrible year the year before with Jeff Fisher. Last season, the fantasy football MVP. Sean McVay, when it comes to receivers as well, he's the best at scheming his receivers open. Watch a Rams receiver. Watch Rams receivers run down the field. The route combinations that Sean McVay has them run, ridiculous. Always open. The Rams receivers are always open, and that's because of Sean McVay. And last but not least is a tie. Bill O'Brien and Todd Haley. Now, I forgot to mention in the introduction to this segment that I said top 5 fantasy football friendly head coaches. It's also head coaches / play callers. That's why Todd Haley's in there. Bill O'Brien and Todd Haley. Bill O'Brien, he became relevant when he was the offensive coordinator in New England with Tom Brady. He had a lot of success with Tom Brady. And this past season with Deshaun Watson. Bill O'Brien knows quarterbacks. And what Bill O'Brien is great at is adapting to his quarterback's strength. In Tom Brady, he had one of the best pocket passers of all time. Adapted. And Deshaun Watson, he has one of the best mobile quarterbacks. Well, not of all time, but Deshaun Watson's a mobile quarterback. One of the best young mobile quarterbacks in the NFL. Bill O'Brien adapted to his strengths, changed his offense to suit Deshaun Watson. That's what makes Bill O'Brien great. He's not set in his ways. Whatever he has, he'll find a way to make those players and to make his team successful. And then Todd Haley. Todd Haley's a little bit arrogant. Not many people like him, but what Todd Haley does, and you can't ask for much more in fantasy football, Todd Haley gets the ball to his best players. In Pittsburgh, Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell. Big Ben was always throwing the ball. Big Ben threw more. They had Le'Veon Bell, but the Steelers threw the ball more than they ran the ball. But a lot of those throws were to Le'Veon Bell, and that's what I'm saying with Todd Haley. Todd Haley knows who his best players are and knows how to get the ball to his best players. And again, in fantasy football, can't ask for much more than that. With that being said, it is time for the interrogation room. Yeah, this is going to be a tough one. I'm ready to grill some people. I'm ready to grill them. Okay, here we go. Steve Mills and Scott Perry, please step into the interrogation room. Introduce yourselves, please, for the people that don't know. Yup. Steve Mills, the president of the Knicks. Scott Perry, the GM of the Knicks. Nice to meet you guys. How's everything going? Good. Cool. Are you guys ready? Let's get started. You guys need a cup of coffee? Any water? You're okay? Cool. Okay, so the Knicks, a couple nights ago, it became official. They got the 9th pick in the NBA draft, 2018 NBA draft. You guys know how important this pick is, right? You know you can't mess this pick up. You guys know that, right? We're on the same page with that, right? Okay. You know an entire fan base, an entire city, an entire tri-state area is depending on you guys and counting on you guys to make this right pick. You know that, right? I don't have to keep reminding you that, right? All right. So with that being said, who do you guys plan on picking? Who do you guys think you should pick? A point guard? Whoa. Did I hear that right? You guys want to draft a point guard with the 9th overall pick. A year after drafting Frank Ntilikina, a point guard with the 9th overall pick. A year after trading for Trey Burke, a point guard, and Emmanuel Mudiay, a point guard. You guys want to draft another point guard. So that would be, I'm not great at math. That would be. So if you draft a point guard this year, that'd be 4 point guards on the Knicks roster. I'm no expert, but usually I think 5 positions on the NBA court. There's only 1 point guard, correct? So why the hell would you draft another point guard when you just drafted a point guard last season? Best player available? That's what you're telling me? You're drafting the best player available and you think that's going to be a point guard. Listen, I don't give a damn if the best player available is a point guard. At 9th overall, the Knicks have to draft a small forward. Let me ask you guys a question. Right now, who's the small forward on the Knicks? Exactly. We don't have one. The Knicks don't have one. And I'm sorry, I'm a Knicks fan, so sorry if I reference the Knicks as we, because I feel like I play for the Knicks. I feel like I coach for the Knicks. I'm just a diehard Knicks fan. But anyway, who is the Knicks starting small forward right now? Let me see if I have it on my... let me see. Exactly. Nobody. We don't have a small forward. We have a point guard, Frank Ntilikina. We have a shooting guard, Tim Hardaway Jr. We have a power forward or a center, whatever you guys want to play him, and Kristaps Porzingis. If Enes Kanter comes back, we got a center. Why would we not draft a small forward when, in my opinion, a top 3 player in this draft is a small forward and it has a good chance of being available at 9th overall? You guys know who that player is? His name is Mikal Bridges out of Villanova. I'm sure you guys are familiar with him. He just won the championship at Villanova. The year before that, they won the championship again. So Mikal Bridges is a 2-time NCAA champion at Villanova. Can play defense. Can shoot the 3. Can switch on the screens. Can guard multiple positions. And like I said, is a champion, is a winner. He will bring that winning culture that the Knicks have been desperately trying to achieve. He will bring that winning culture to the Garden and to New York City. But you guys are telling me that we don't need a small forward. We need a point guard. You don't need a point guard. You don't need a point guard. You need an athletic wing player, an athletic small forward that can defend and hit threes. And that's what Mikal Bridges is, and that's what Mikal Bridges can do. Mikal Bridges fits today's modern day NBA. A player that can, like I keep referencing what he does. In today's NBA, you need players that can defend. You need players that can shoot threes. You need players that can switch on screens and cover and guard multiple positions. That's what Mikal Bridges can do. He's athletic. He has a very lengthy wingspan. I believe it's almost 7 foot. Always in the passing lane. Always getting steals. Block shots. Last year was the co-defensive player of the year in the Big East. The Knicks are trying to build the defensive culture. We don't have anyone on that team besides Frank Ntilikina that actually prides themselves on playing defense. And you're telling me, let's draft a point guard. No! Let's draft Mikal Bridges. Slide him at the 3. Now you have Frank Ntilikina and Mikal Bridges playing defense. Before we know it, this Knicks team might be one of the better defensive teams in the NBA. Respect the process. Don't draft a point guard, guys. Draft a small forward. Please, I'm begging you. If you guys are not confident in making this pick, call the attorney. The attorney will be the one that makes the pick. I have no problem when it comes the New York Knicks are on the clock. We're going to pick Mikal Bridges. I have no problem doing that. I have no problem saying that. Because that's what the Knicks need. That's who the Knicks need. That has to be the Knicks pick at 9th overall. Thank you guys. You guys can step out of the interrogation room. I think I have some evidence. I think I got some solid evidence. All right, guys. Have a good one. All right, guys. Scott Perry and Steve Mills have left the interrogation room. Now, for you guys that aren't familiar with, what the Knicks thought and draft plans and draft thoughts are, let me tell you guys something. I've been reading a lot of mock drafts, and a lot of mock drafts have the Knicks selecting a point guard at 9th overall. On numerous occasions, Steve Mills and Scott Perry have said we're going to take the best player available. That's why I just had them in the interrogation room. That's why I just let them know, listen, guys, screw that best player available bullshit. No. We don't need any more point guards. The Knicks need a Mikal Bridges, an athletic small forward that can defend and shoot threes. I feel like I keep saying this so much. Defend and shoot threes. Defend and shoot threes. Defend and shoot threes. You know why I keep saying it? Because that's what you need to do in today's NBA to be successful. Defend and shoot threes. And you have to be somewhat athletic. Mikal Bridges, man, he fits the profile. He fits the profile of what the Knicks need and what the Knicks want. Plus, he's a winner. He's a leader. He's a 2-time NCAA champion at Villanova. Played for one of the best coaches and played for one of the best programs in the entire country. Why would you not draft anybody else but Mikal Bridges? You know, God forbid he's not there at 9th overall. Then maybe you draft I don't even want to say a point guard because we have so many of them. But then maybe you have to I think the Knicks should set their eyes on Mikal Bridges. He's their number 1 target. Assume he's going to be there at 9th. If you get at 9, he's not there, then maybe pick the best player available. But there's really no reason that the Knicks, should pass on Mikal Bridges. If they pass on Mikal Bridges, that's probably one of the stupidest decisions the Knicks have ever made. Even more stupider than passing on Donovan Mitchell. You know what, guys? I wish I still had these clowns in the interrogation room because I'd let them know about this. You guys want to draft a point guard so bad, right? You know what would have made sense for you guys to draft a point guard this year? You know what? How you guys could have drafted a point guard this year and it would have been a bad thing? If you didn't draft a point guard last year and you drafted Donovan Mitchell instead. If you didn't draft Frank Ntilikina last year and you drafted Donovan Mitchell instead, then maybe this year you could draft a point guard. But instead, you guys chose to draft Frank Ntilikina, who, mind you, I have no problem with. I like Frank Ntilikina. I think he has a bright future. But Donovan Mitchell looks like a superstar and a future multiple-time All-Star and maybe even a league MVP. That's the type of rookie year Donovan Mitchell had. But the Knicks passed on him for Frank Ntilikina. Cool. But now, after passing on Donovan Mitchell for Frank Ntilikina, you want to draft another point guard. What? No. You got Frank Ntilikina. He's the guy. He's the guy for the Knicks. Now, you draft a small forward to pair with Frank Ntilikina. You don't draft another point guard to pair with Frank Ntilikina. Oh, man. God. Yo, Scott Perry and Steve Mills, come back in the interrogation room for a second. Please. Just please. Please come in here for a second. Please come in here for a second. You guys want to draft a point guard, right? That's what you're telling me? Okay. So if you draft a point guard, you're admitting your mistake on drafting Frank Ntilikina, which will make passing on Donovan Mitchell look even worse. If you passed on Donovan Mitchell for Frank Ntilikina, then a year later draft another point guard, that's admitting that you should have drafted Frank Ntilikina and you should have drafted Donovan Mitchell. No, don't even do it. Save yourself the trouble. Draft a small forward, prove to the world that you were sold on the Frank Ntilikina pick and you're confident in the Frank Ntilikina pick. Draft another player. Don't draft another point guard. Because if you draft another point guard after drafting Frank Ntilikina and after passing on Donovan Mitchell, it's going to make you guys look so bad and it's going to make you guys you guys are going to get criticized even more for passing on Donovan Mitchell. Don't do it. Save yourselves the headache. Leave the interrogation room. Thank you. New York Knicks have to draft an athletic small forward that can defend and shoot threes. That's the motto. I've been saying it so much. Defend and shoot threes. Defend and shoot threes. Defend and shoot threes. Whoo! Boy, oh boy. Now it's time, for the annual What's the Case on the Base? Fantasy baseball players to pick up. Fantasy baseball players to send to the waiver wire. Let's start with the positives. Let's talk about some players to pick up. Number 1, Michael Conforto of the New York Mets. He's finally healthy. Tell you that much. He's finally healthy. That's all you can ask for right now. Michael Conforto last season was the first-time All-Star for the Mets. Was the Mets' only All-Star. He hit 279, 27 home runs. People, were finally saying, this Michael Conforto kid, he's a stud. He could be a future superstar. And the face of the Mets franchise, the next David Wright. This year, started off the season not healthy, but he is finally healthy now. He's only hitting 208 with 3 home runs, but he's only been back for about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks. We've seen this kid can hit. Michael Conforto, he can hit. He's proven to be a quality hitter. Give him some time. He's got it. He's getting his groove back. He's getting back into the swing of things. And while he's getting back into the swing of things, look for his swing to pick up and result in a lot of fantasy baseball points. Michael Conforto, take a look at picking him up. Number 2, Ryan Haley, Seattle Mariners. The Seattle Mariners have been in the news lately for the wrong reasons. I'll get to that in a little bit. But Ryan Healy, he's healthy finally as well. Last year with the A's, he had 271, 25 home runs. Gave his owners a lot of power, a lot of home runs. This year was start off the season injured, didn't play much. Now he's finally healthy. Off to a great start. 281 average, 7 home runs. He's going to give you average, and he's going to give you power. You need the power, obviously, but the average is a plus. And another plus for Ryan Healy, he's eligible at first base and third base. So if you're ever in a pinch and your first baseman is injured or your third baseman is injured, you got Ryan Healy, there you go. 2 positions, 2 for 1, Ryan Healy. That's a bargain. 3, Mark Trumbo. Healthy. Hitting .327, but only 1 home run. And that's going to change with Mark Trumbo because from 2011 to 2017, Mark Trumbo was tied with Adam Jones and Mike Trout for the 9th most home runs in the major leagues. So 2, 3, 4, 5. So for 6 straight years, Mark Trumbo, what's the number? 6 straight years, like I said, he was tied with Trout and Adam Jones for the 9th most home runs during that span with 201 home runs. He's proven that he could hit 50 home runs in a season. I think 2 years ago he had 47 or 46. So right now it's the opposite with Mark Trumbo, though. He's hitting for average, but only has 1 home run. As the season progresses, that average is going to drop, but the power is going to go up, and the home runs are going to go up. So you can settle. I would settle with Mark Trumbo hitting 240, 250, but 35 to 40 home runs. And I think that's what Mark Trumbo is going to end up doing. So be patient with Mark Trumbo. The home runs are going to come. The power is going to come. Just stay patient. Another guy to pick up, Scooter Gennett from the Reds. Right now he's hitting .323, give you a good source of average. He's the only player, he's one of only 18 players in Major League history to hit 4 home runs in one game. So the pop's been there. He can hit some home runs, but he's more of a hitter, a hitter for average. He does have a little bit of pop. I believe last year he hit 25 home runs, but that was a career high. Scooter Gennett, I'm looking for him at the end of the season to hit around 310, 17 to 18 home runs, but 310, can't ask for much more. That's a high average. Need that high average on your team. Take a look at Scooter Gennett. Another guy, another pitcher. Oh, not another. Did I name any pitchers yet? Oh, that's the first pitcher, actually. Trevor Cahill from the Athletics. Trevor Cahill, he's been inconsistent most of his career, but he has upside. He's proven it. He's proven that he can average. He's proven he can strike out 10 batters in the game. He's proven he can strike out nine batters in the game. He's proven he can strike out major league hitters. And the upside for Trevor Cahill is, a solid 3.00 ERA. And, over a strikeout per inning. Because Trevor Cahill, like I said, has proven that he could strike out 10 batters in the game, 9 batters in the game, 11 batters in the game. So if you could have Trevor Cahill giving you an ERA in the 3s, and averaging over a strikeout per inning, you'll settle with that. You'll be cool with that. Because he's probably not your ace, he's probably not your number 2. But to get Trevor Cahill as your 4th or 5th pitcher and get you 9 to 10 strikeouts a game, you'll be happy with that. And then another pitcher, Nick Pivetta from the Phillies. 3.72 ERA, 53-11 strikeout to walk ratio. 9 starts, 46 innings. That's pretty good. In 46 innings, a strikeout to walk ratio of 53-11. You can't ask for much more. Striking out a lot and not walking a lot. I love me some strikeouts in fantasy baseball, and I hate me some walks. So give me Nick Pivetta, who's striking out a lot of people, but not walking a lot of people. Yeah, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. But now it's time for the negatives. Hate to do it to you guys, but I'm looking out for y'all. Drop these players, send their asses to the waiver wire. Robbie Cano. Oh. I'm a Yankees lifer, man. I've always loved me some Robbie Cano. But he disappointed me. He disappointed me. Now, he fractured his hand. So that's probably about, I think it's a 4 to 8 week recovery. But once those 8 weeks go by and Robbie Cano's healthy, guess what? He won't be coming back. You want to know why? Because he got suspended for 80 games for using PEDs, performance-enhancing drugs. Robbie Cano was juicing. Robbie Cano was using steroids. Robbie Cano is a cheater. He's a fraud. No. Don't let me. I'm not trying to get on him. I could really elaborate on why I'm not not surprised isn't the word. I can really elaborate on why I'm not that mad at Robbie Cano, and why I'm not going to really go at him, because it does make sense for players to use. I sound crazy saying this, but it does make sense from an economical standpoint to use PEDs. I'm not going to go into all that, but that's why I'm not really going to get on Robbie Cano too much. But yeah, drop Robbie Cano on your team, because even when he gets back from the fractured wrist and he is healthy, he'll be on the waiver wire because he'll be suspended for using PEDs. 80-game suspension, mind you. Another player to drop. Another player to send to the waiver wire. Ivan Nova, pitcher for the Pirates. He's 2-3 with a 5.01 ERA. And honestly, again, Yankee fan, I've seen a lot of Ivan Nova. He hasn't really been good ever. He's never been good. 2015 with the Yankees, 5.07 ERA. Not very good. 2016, 4.90 ERA. Not very good. And then last year, 4.14 ERA. So in the last 3 years, Ivan Nova, how do you say his name? Ivan? I don't know. Who gives a damn? Ivan Nova has never had ERA lower than 4. He's never had ERA in the 3s in the last 3 years. This year he has ERA in the 5s. I don't want him on my team. I don't want no pitcher that has an ERA in the 5s on my team. So you know what that means. Send Ivan Nova to the waiver wire. 3, Matt Carpenter. Matt Carpenter's always had an average around 270. It would always give you 20-something home runs. You can always count on him for being a consistent hitter. Not a superstar hitter, but a consistent hitter. This year, he's only hitting 140. 3 home runs. What? How does Matt Carpenter go from being a consistent hitter in the 270 area to now hitting 140? How does that even happen? I don't care. I don't give a damn how it happened. I don't got time for explanations. I'm trying to win, and I can't win with Matt Carpenter on my roster. Send him to the waiver wire. 4, Danny Duffy, pitcher for the Royals. These numbers are brutal. 1-5 with a 1-5 with a 6.51 ERA. Gosh darn it. Man, and this is pretty surprising for Danny Duffy. 2016, he was 12-3 with a 3.51 ERA. Last year, 9-10 with a 3.81 ERA. So Danny Duffy the past 2 years, has been pretty solid. ERA in the 3s. Last year only had 9 wins, 10 losses, but that was because the Royals' offense wasn't very good. But the year before that, 2016, Danny Duffy was 12-3, 3.51 ERA. What's going on with him this year? What the hell is going on with him? Why does Danny Duffy have an ERA of 6.51? Is it the Royals? Can't be the Royals, because the Royals' offense has nothing to do with Danny Duffy having ERA in the 6s. Again, don't care for the explanations. I don't have time for it. Danny Duffy, no room for him on my team with that type of ERA, with that bloated ERA. See ya. Get lost, Danny Duffy. And last player, I want you to take a look at dropping. I know it's hard for you to drop your friends and your players and you guys you believed in, but you got to do it. Ian Desmond. You can't keep waiting for Ian Desmond that much longer. Hit 171 with 6 homers. Now, he has the 6 homers because he plays for the Rockies and plays his home games at Coors Field. Everybody knows that Coors Field is famous for enhancing hitters and elevating balls that you probably would be fly balls in another park, but in Coors Field they're home runs. That's why Ian Desmond has the 6 homers. So if you want to keep Ian Desmond on your team for the power potential, I wouldn't blame you, but 171 batting average, and yeah, I know batting average is a category. So again, if you have other players that are fulfilling your batting average categories, but you're lacking in the power department, go ahead and keep Ian Desmond, because right now he has 6 homers. Playing at Coors Field, it's probably the home run numbers are probably going to go up. You could possibly even see Ian Desmond finish the season with 25 home runs. But with a 171 batting average, I don't need that on my team. I got enough power. I can't have somebody bringing my batting average down. Ian Desmond, see you. Head to the waiver wire. Where are we at? We're at 40 minutes right now. Now let's talk real quick. We got a little bit of time. Let's talk about the NBA playoffs. Western Conference Finals, Rockets versus Warriors. That series is tied 1-1. And then Eastern Conference Finals, Cavs, Celtics. Celtics are up 2-0. I don't know where to start with LeBron, man. I'm a huge LeBron fan. Everybody knows that. I think LeBron's the greatest player to ever play. But this Cavaliers team is just not good. There's no sugarcoating that. You got to be frank. The Cavaliers team's not good. They're too inconsistent. The talent's there, but they're not dependable. LeBron can't depend on anybody but himself. Kevin Love has been playing better of late, but we've seen Kevin Love play great for 4 or 5 games and then just really, go down in the tank. Just tank it and be terrible and just really go right into the shitter. And to win a championship, you can't have that type of inconsistencies, especially when you're playing a team like the Celtics, who have been so consistent all year in terms of their defense and their team chemistry and they're moving the ball on offense. The Celtics play their way of their style of basketball. They play their style of basketball. They don't deviate from it. Everybody knows their role. Brad Stevens is one of the best coaches, if not the best coach in the NBA. And you could tell with the way he's scheming his defense to stop LeBron, to stop the Cavs. With the way on offense that the Celtics are using the entire shot clock and making the defense of the Cavaliers work. The Cavaliers defense really was letting them down this series. Cavaliers defense just doesn't seem engaged. Like, they're not committed. And that's because the Celtics offense is making the Cavaliers D work to a point where, they're getting tired of it. They're getting sick of it. They're just giving up. They're just quitting. Because the Celtics, what they do so well is they'll pass the ball. They'll pass the ball. They'll pass the ball. And you think that'll be the shot they're going to shoot. But they'll make one more pass because that's what their offense calls for. Brad Stevens calls a play with a specific shot in mind. And that's what makes the Cavaliers D work so hard, because after that third pass, you think that's the shot that it's going to be. Then the Celtics make one more pass, and that's the shot it's going to be. And that takes up the entire shot clock. So the Cavaliers defense is working so hard, working for 24 seconds, that one, they're tired, they're shot out. Them being tired and shot is going to translate to offense, where they're not going to have much effort and much energy to give on offense. So this Celtics team is just tough, man. They just play the right way, and they're doing everything the right way to neutralize LeBron and this Cavs team. Now tomorrow, it's back in Cleveland for Game 3. We might see LeBron go for 70 points. I'm telling you, they still might lose, but LeBron he's sick of this. He realizes that in order for the Cavs to win this series, it has to be himself. He's got to do above and beyond. LeBron has to go above and beyond. And literally, pick up this Cavaliers team and put them on his shoulder to have any chance to win this series. That's why I say don't be surprised if LeBron goes for 70 points tomorrow night in Cleveland. Then the other series, Rockets-Warriors, that's tied 1-1. The Rockets in Game 2, they did it in Game 1 as well, but they are really going at Steph Curry. They are going at Steph Curry on offense. Well, Steph Curry on defense. The Rockets' offense is going at Steph Curry on defense. Now, the Rockets' offense, main offense, is pick and roll, isolation ball. So, Chris Paul, James Harden, they'll have Clint Capella come up and set a screen. Now, the Warriors play switch defense. So that usually ends up with James Harden or Chris Paul on Steph Curry. That's what happens. So it's once that pick and roll happens, whoever it is, either Chris Paul or James Harden, the rest of that shot clock, it's isolation. And 70% of the time, in this series, 70% of the time it's been James Harden or Chris Paul on Steph Curry. And that is making Steph Curry exert so much energy on defense that when it comes time for Steph Curry to contribute offensively, he has no energy left. Steph Curry has been terrible offensively in this series. And if Steph Curry doesn't get going, we could definitely see the Rockets win this series. Yeah, I know they got KD. I know they got Klay Thompson, but the Warriors' offense is built around Steph Curry. People want to say KD. No. Steph Curry makes this Warriors' offense groove and flow. And when Steph Curry hits those 40-footers and, the penetrates and hits the floaters, that's what gets the Warriors' offense going. And Steph Curry offensively just hasn't been able to do that. And I believe it's because he's been exerting so much energy on the defensive end. Because the pick and roll and the isolation, Steph Curry can't guard James Harden. Steph Curry really can't guard Chris Paul. And they know that. The Rockets know that. So, keep an eye out on the Rockets continuing to do that, continuing to get Steph Curry in one-on-one isolation plays. Because that's the only formula the Rockets have that can actually work against the Warriors. Other than that, if the Rockets, don't get... The Warriors are the better team. No doubt about it. But, like I said, if the Rockets want to have a shot, they got to keep going at Steph Curry defensively because it's affecting his offensive game as well. With that being said, the verdict is in. The jury has decided on a verdict. Wow. All right. All right, guys. Here we go. The jury has sentenced you all to 25 years to life of eating buffalo wings, drinking ice-cold beer, and enjoying sports. I'm the attorney at sports. This is my courtroom. This is Sports in Order. The jury is out. Peace.